Man, the one thing that we've always wondered was, does Vince McMahon watch anything NXT related? I've always wondered that. Now, this is not doctored. This is not made up. This is not photoshopped. This is a legit tweet from Vince McMahon. Now, when I was watching the show, there was plenty of chants throughout the night. Some I did not understand, some I understood and laughed at. I still don't get the Zach Gibson, take your shoes off chant. I love it. I think it's great, but I don't know if I'm going to take my shoes off live at a fucking wrestling show. But it's enjoyable to see nonetheless, and I love seeing everybody having a good time. But there was one chant during the show, and it was aimed at Vince McMahon. And the chant went, "Are you watching? Are you watching Vince McMahon?" Apparently he was watching. Apparently he was watching. Now, he may be lying. I wouldn't be surprised if he's lying. But apparently, according to him, on his official Twitter account, he was watching. Yes, I watched NXT UK TakeOver, by the way, which they boasted about it all night. The number one trending topic on social media worldwide throughout the time it was on. Yes, I watched, and yes, it was awesome. I only wish that he watched his own show on Monday night and realized how fucking tragic it is. And I hope that he watched and said, this is how we do things. Oh, this is how we should do things. This is how my son-in-law is doing things. Maybe I should do that on Monday night. One could dream. One could dream. One could wish upon a star. But I'm assuring you that come Monday Night Raw, we're going to see the same old shit come Monday night. But he watched anyway, and it was a great show. It was a great show. The show was a home run. And all these takeover shows produced by Triple H and his team, man, they are they're always just so great. Really, there's nothing bad we could say about these shows. There's always something that's just fucking surprising and leaves a smile on your face, and the matches are just so great. The match quality is just so great on these shows, man. Everything about this show was great. It wasn't perfect by any means. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, that the show was a 100% show, 10 out of 10, grand slam. It wasn't. It wasn't. There was some down periods during the show. There was some things that left me scratching my head, but overall, this show was a home run. And I can't wait to see the growth of the UK brand, because they have a lot of talented individuals over there on the UK brand. The crowd brought it. The crowd was very energetic, and I don't expect anything less from the UK crowd. You people over there, man, you guys, my fans, I love you. You guys brought it in every sense of the word. Every time there's a live show, I'm loving every time we see the UK crowds, man. They know how to have a good time, and I wish, I'm watching this on TV, and it makes me wish how amazing the atmosphere is to be there physically live, man. Hand me a fucking pint of Guinness and let me fucking scream at the top of my lungs with everybody. I don't know if I'm going to take my fucking shoe off during a Zach Gibson match, but fuck it, why not? Why not? If I have a couple of Guinness in me, I'll take my fucking shoes off. It was great, man. The atmosphere was great. The Empress Ballroom looked fantastic. I love the lighting. I'm not sure about the seating. I mentioned this to myself. I'm thinking this to myself. I'm watching the show, and there's no layered seating in the Empress Ballroom. It just goes straight back. There's just row after row after row after row, right? And I'm looking at the balcony. They had a few shots of the balcony. I'm thinking to myself, man, that's probably the best seat in the fucking house, the balcony. If I'm getting a ticket to the show, I'm sitting up in the balcony. But the crowd was lively. The Empress Ballroom looked fantastic with the red and the gold. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Last time they were in the Empress Ballroom was the inaugural UK Championship Tournament, where Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate battled it out for the rights to be called the first ever UK champion, where Tyler Bate was crowned the champion, and he defeated Pete Dunne in the finals with the Tyler Driver 97. I don't think they've been back there since. And it was just a great atmosphere, great crowd. As far as the show, commentary was really good, man. Nigel McGuinness always brings it. I love his brand of commentary. He's very detailed. He really paints a great picture as to what is going on in the ring. And he pinpoints things that you really don't hear nowadays. Whether it's the fatigue of somebody, or if somebody's trying to do something and it didn't work the first time around, the second time around. He'll be honest with you. He's very logical in his approach with everything. He's just very open and honest, and like I said, he paints a great picture to just visualize when you're watching at home. And he's he's so genuine. You can tell he's genuine, and you can tell, by the way, the commentary was not scripted tonight. It was not force-fed through a fucking headset. They went out there. Nigel and Vic Joseph did the commentary. Very genuine, very excited. Both of them felt like they wanted to be there. They weren't being forced to say something because Vince wanted them to say something. This was all Triple H handled, and they went out there and they gave you a genuine fucking feel behind the microphone on commentary, man. And I think Vic Joseph does a great job. And it's nice to see him get another role outside of 205 Live. Like, it's difficult with Vic Joseph because he does a great job on 205 Live, and that's his brand. That's his baby. He's the voice of 205 Live. When Morrow has to take some time off to deal with whatever he's got to go through, and we have to understand that, they get Vic Joseph to fill on in. It doesn't seem like it's a good fit for him to be down at Full Sail, because Morrow, when he's out, literally the only thing we have in our minds is that nobody's going to be able to fill this guy's shoes. I don't give a fuck who's in there. You could get fucking Jesus Christ to sit in the fucking commentary seat that Morrow sits in. It's not going to be the same, So having Vic Joseph down at Full Sail when Morrow's not there, it's not the same. But being that Vic Joseph has been the voice of NXT UK since its inception, and he was here doing Takeover, man, it's just a good fit because we know him, we're comfortable with him, we're familiar with his voice, and he's going to be the voice going forward. He's not filling in for anybody. He's not a replacement. So they did a great job. Genuine all around. Great job. Thumbs up by the commentary team tonight on the Takeover special at Blackpool. As far as the performances from everybody in the ring, man, the matches up and down. There was 5 matches in total. Literally from the opening match, the tag team title match, to the main event and everything in between. Every single individual on that night brought it, and there's nothing but respect from me to you guys, man. It was fucking unbelievable how you know something is special, and you know that they fucking care about what they're doing, because you can tell in their body language, you can tell in their emotion, you can tell. You could just look at Toni Storm, for example. And I know she's dealing with personal issues, but when she was in the ring tonight, even when she came out during her introduction, like, she looked around and she just looked like she was just blown away by the reaction that she got. Yes, we missed her. Yes, we feel bad about what happened to her. But you can tell that, A, she loved to be there. B, she was going to deliver a fucking a career moment for herself. And she legitimately wanted to be there with the emotion. You physically seen her about to cry. Just in the beginning of the match, and then especially when she won the title from Raya Ripley, how she stood amongst the people. She stood amongst the people. She sat on the barricade with the crowd chanting her name, and she loved it. She was soaking in all that moment, man. Everybody legitimately brought it. There was no boundaries on anything that they did. Everybody legitimately, at one point or another, tried to fucking kill themselves, risk themselves for our entertainment, just so that they could stamp their name to the NXT fucking brand. Like, this was their first show, and they were going to make you, sit there and remember what the fuck they did on that night. They wanted to make it as memorable as possible. And you've seen that in the body of work from everybody, to the emotion on their face. It was just a great thing to see, man. And that's what I like to see. I like to see, pro wrestlers take their art and fucking just present it to the world as the greatest fucking thing that you'll ever see. And that's what I got. That's what I get from these, especially the first Takeover shows, man. And every Takeover show. Like, they know this is a big fucking deal. This is our night. Yeah, you got NXT here at Full Sail in Florida, in Orlando. You got Raw and SmackDown. There's 205 Live. All these different brands. All these different, ways to watch WWE Network. They're trying to cater to so many different audiences. The UK went out there and said, you got the NXT guys at Full Sail. Nobody should be overlooking us. Don't overlook us. We want to be on that same level, if not better. And everybody brought it, man. You gotta appreciate what they did tonight. And kudos to Triple H, man. He's just doing a great job. And I'm loving his vision with everything as far as the NXT brands go. Yeah, they might be monopolizing the fucking industry. But, it's not like they're going out there and taking all the talent from every other fucking promotion in the world, and they're just hoarding them and storing them and not using them and not, willing to let them grow. They're giving them such a huge platform, a great fucking platform. How could we not be excited about what they're doing with NXT? Everything NXT is usually a home run. I don't think anybody here can say anything bad about anything NXT related. And everybody should be proud of what's going on. Yeah, it may sour some people, honestly, but when you got a platform like Triple H is giving these guys, there's no way you could really complain. We're getting great product out of it, and that's all that matters. That's really all that matters, man. We're going to go over everything. We're going to go over everything on the show. It was 5 matches in total. Like I said, it was a Grand Slam show. A few hiccups here and there, but nothing that is too catastrophic. We'll wait for Monday for the tragedy to occur for weekly WWE television. But we're going to go over all the show right here on the review, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Please follow me on social media at JD from NY206 on Twitter. Same thing as Instagram. I'm going to start posting more on Instagram, man. I want to use Instagram as a way to promote the channel as well. So make sure you guys follow me on there. Follow me on Twitch if you guys enjoy the video game thing, man. JD from New York. I may be on Twitch after I record this. It's 8:51 right now Eastern Time. Saturday night. You guys are going to see this on Sunday morning. I may be on Twitch right after this is over. Streaming what? Playing what? I don't know. But I'll be on there, man. I'm usually on there twice a week. And we actually did a live reaction to the All Elite Wrestling press conference on Tuesday. And we had almost 600 people live watching the press conference with me, man. So join me on Twitch, JD from New York. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. It's completely optional. I will never ask you to do anything for me. I will never beg. I will never plead. I will never come off in a way where I need my bills to be paid because I need to live. But if you guys want to donate, if you guys want to pledge, it's completely optional. It's the only way to get some exclusive content not available on YouTube. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And like I said, please hit that subscribe button, man. Turn on that bell for all notifications. We are over 104,000 subscribers. The growth is very, very good right here on the channel, man. I got to shout out Harry's because they're my official sponsor. Can't go a show without bragging about Harry's, man. Harry's.com/script. Real quick, if you guys want something for free just for listening to the show, you guys can sign up using our unique link, Harry's.com/script. What you guys are going to get is a razor handle. Choice of color is up to you. Blue, orange, or green. You're going to get a razor blade. You're going to get a generous 2-ounce bottle of their shave gel. It soothes, it hydrates, it smells fantastic, and it's going to leave a nice tingling sensation on your skin, and you're going to get a travel size protective case for your blade as well, all for free. All you got to do is use our unique link, Harry's.com/script. Go through the sign-up process. You're going to get a $15 trial case for free, and all you have to do is pay the shipping and handling. I've been using it for over a year. It's fantastic. I haven't looked back. Found out about it through my dad and my brother. And I would never tell you guys about anything that I don't use, A, or B, that I don't believe in. So make sure you guys go and get Harry's today. Harry's.com/script, man. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Let's get on with this review, man. NXT Takeover UK Blackpool. Show started off with one of the best tag team matches that I've seen in a very long time. Mustache Mountain. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven versus Zach Gibson and James Drake for the NXT UK tag team titles. Anything I say here will not do this match justice, man. This was absolutely fantastic. There was no match on the show that even came close to what these four guys did. This was the best match of the entire show. Great way to start the show off. The crowd was fucking insane during this match. A few things of note here. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven actually wore attire to pay homage to the British Bulldogs. I absolutely love their ring attire. It was really nice. The NXT, I know I mentioned this on Off the Script, but I have to mention it again here, man. I am a big title guy. I am a huge title guy. I miss the days of the old Winged Eagle belt, the Hulk Hogan belt. I miss the days of the old school tag team titles back in the WWF in the 90s. The NXT UK tag team titles are I'm looking at them right now. I can't even look away. The NXT tag team titles are so fucking beautiful, man. They have to be the best. I thought the UK championship that Pete Dunne has is the best looking championship. These are the best looking titles in the entire fucking company, man. They did an absolutely phenomenal job on the design of these titles. Just by looking at them, I feel like I'm 4 years old, 5 years old, watching fucking Mr. Perfect walk down the aisle with the Intercontinental Championship, or Bret Hart, or Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, when I'm watching old school WWF back on Saturday afternoon on Fox 5 in New York City. I'm watching these titles be presented in the beginning of the match. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man, these things look fucking great. The look of the titles look so fucking prestigious, man. Like, the look of the titles make you, A, want them for yourselves, and B, man, if I'm competing for these titles, if I'm any one of these four guys, man, I want that shit for myself, man. The look of the titles bring the prestige level to the max for these things. Beautiful fucking titles, man. Tyler Bate is amazing at what he does, man. He's one of the best hot tags in WWE. I mean, the guy is absolutely fucking phenomenal. Yes, he's small, but man, he's like a fucking Herculean fucking god when he comes on in there, man. You don't know what the fuck the guy's gonna do. He's gonna airplane spin two guys, which he did today during the show. He is just all over the place, man. He's like fucking Mighty Mouse. Just running all over the place. The guy's it's like a wind-up toy. He never stops. He's just unbelievable, man. He is in the UK now, but to me, honestly, I look at Tyler Bate. He's too good to be held down and being on the UK brand only. I see this guy expanding his limits, honestly, in the years to come. He is just so fucking good at what he does. And that hot tag, man, he's one of the best in WWE that I've seen in recent years, man. Drake and Gibson. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently the commentary team mentioned that Gibson and Drake were, I guess, childhood friends. I mean, the team of Drake and Gibson, they don't look like a tag team, like, looks-wise. You know, Gibson's got the big beard, and Drake's got the long hair. Gibson's bald. I'm like, this is like complete polar opposites of one another. So I'm looking at them, I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, this looks like a makeshift tag team here. But they wore the same tights, the same colored tights. I think Gibson had his face, or maybe one of them had his own face on his trunks, and obviously the crowd got on them for that. But, man, do they work well together, man. Like a fucking $20,000 Rolex watch these guys were moving like, man. Swift, precise, like a well-oiled fucking engine these guys were running like. Unbelievable stuff here. I can't even go over what the fuck happened here. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to go over what happened in this match. Let's fast forward a little bit, man. Trent Seven was really being grounded by... I wish they would come up with a team name, by the way. They got Mustache Mountain, and Gibson and Drake don't have a team name. I wish they'd come up with a team name. But Trent Seven is being held captive in the other team's corner, right? So he gets the hot tag eventually. Let's fast forward a little bit. Bate gets the hot tag. Bate goes swinging on Gibson, hits a big back body drop on Drake, and then he follows up with a knee lift and a spinning elbow on Gibson. Bate does an airplane spin but stops, and he puts both Drake and Gibson on his shoulders, and the guy stands upright. Little old Tyler Bate picks up both Zach Gibson and James Drake and does an airplane spin. Yes, it was only for a little bit because there's no fucking way he wasn't fatigued after that. And then he still continued on with the airplane spin on one of them after the other one fell off his back. So you've seen how fatigued Bate was after that. But man, that looked great. It looked absolutely phenomenal. Bate stops. He goes to the outside to get Gibson, but Drake stops him and tries superplexing him from the apron to the inside of the ring. Bate stops him and carries him over to the apron. They go back and forth on the apron until Bate uses an exploder suplex on the apron and tosses Drake on top of his own partner, Gibson, who's standing on the outside. Bate then with a running shooting star press off the apron to the floor on Gibson and Drake simultaneously, man. This guy was still going. He gets the hot tag. He's going back and forth with both guys. Trent Seven at this point bleeding. He had a cut, it looked like, on his head, but we physically couldn't see it. All we seen was that his hair was red, but it looked like he got a really, really stiff elbow shot by Drake, but we didn't physically see a cut. All we seen was that the referee put on the gloves because there was an injury during the match, and that Tyler Bate was the only one in there while Trent Seven was attending to his injuries. His hair was all red. So Tyler Bate is doing what he's got to do to get this match in their favor. So Bate, on the outside, tosses Gibson back in the ring and goes for the Tyler Driver 97 and wants to end the match immediately. Gibson escapes, but Tyler Bate hits his bop and bang. Seven comes in, hits a running power slam, and Bate hits a flying headbutt, but they only get a 2 count, man. Now, I didn't think that was going to be it, but I had a feeling at this point that Tyler Bate and Trent Seven were going to win the titles. It was just seemingly swinging in their favor. So Tyler Bate hits a running suicide dive on Drake, and Seven hits his finisher on Gibson inside the ring. But Drake comes in and manages to break it up. The crowd is going crazy, trying to get behind Seven. Seven holds Drake back from his corner. Gibson finally kicks Seven off, and then Bate and Drake go at it, reversing pinfalls for 2 counts. Bate hits the rolling kick, the capo kick, and tags in Trent Seven, which I don't know why he did, because Trent Seven was completely out of it still at this point, even though he was on the outside for a little bit selling his injuries. Seven puts Drake in a full Nelson, and they go back and forth. They try to go for the finish, but Gibson hits a code breaker on Bate. Seven gets hit with the Helter Skelter, and Drake's finishing 450 splash. I even mentioned on Twitter, man, the Helter Skelter that Gibson hit on Trent Seven was fucking beautiful. Even more beautiful. A thing of beauty, man. You couldn't picture a more perfect 450. Drake comes off the top with a 450 splash, and I thought at that point, that's it. I even said to myself, I threw my hands in the air, that's it. It's got to be over. It's got to be over. And Trent Seven kicks out. I'm like, what the fuck is going to end this match, man? Unbelievable sequence. Gibson and Drake set Seven up again, but Seven escapes and uses chops to try and regain some advantage. Gibson locks in Shankly Gates. At this point, I'm like, it's got to be over now. It's got to be, where the fuck is Bate at? And he's got the Shankly Gates on Seven, and Drake kicked him in the head. Bate tries to break up the hole, but Drake stops him and puts him in Shankly Gates. So we got a DIY revival situation, and I'm like, Mustache Mountain isn't simultaneously going to tap out of this thing. So they were both in Shankly Gates, and they were looking at one another. Don't give up. Don't give up. So Tyler Bate manages to get out, and he puts Drake in a fireman's carry and rolls through, knocking Gibson off of Trent Seven. So that was broken up. So Bate and Drake get tagged in, and they start throwing punches in the center of the ring. Gibson comes in and tries to fight, but Bate also punches him and delivers another rolling kick on Drake. Seven and Bate hit their full Nelson springboard clothesline for another 2 count. I don't know at this point what's going to end this match. Gibson then has Bate in an electric chair on the outside, and James Drake comes running out of nowhere with a suicide dive, tackling Bate off of Gibson's shoulders in midair. I don't know how you can even prepare for something like that. You got to go back and watch. The rotation that Tyler Bate got off of Drake flying through the ropes off of Gibson's shoulders, man. Fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous, man. I'm surprised that he didn't fucking hit his head on that sick bump. Seven goes for a suicide dive. I think he botched it at this point. He hit the ropes, but man, did Drake come out of nowhere and deliver like a Claymore kick style kick from the running position on the outside. Seven was trying to fly through the ropes, and Drake comes out of nowhere and stops him in midair. So Drake and Gibson deliver the Ticket to Mayhem, their finisher, and that was it. Trent Seven was done. 1, 2, 3. NXT UK Tag Team Champions. First ever. James Drake and Zach Gibson. This was an unbelievable match. This may end up being one of the best tag team matches that you will see all year. And if this is not in the top 10, I would be shocked at the end of the year. Matches of WWE in 2019. This was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Perfect way to open the show. Everybody worked magically in this match. And being that we watched the entire show and we've seen all the outcomes, looking back at this was the right decision. Now, a lot of people are asking me, oh, Mustache Mountain should have won it. Mustache Mountain should have won it. Why? Why? We got Toni Storm winning the Women's Championship from Raya Ripley. Pete Dunne retained the UK Championship against Joe Coffey. You're going to have all baby faces win? You're going to have all the baby faces win the titles. What good is that? These guys are so fucking good. James Drake and Zach Gibson were so good tonight. You don't think in the UK that people are going to want to see them get their ass kicked now? You know Mustache Mountain's going to get another fucking match eventually for the tag team championships. What good is Mustache Mountain as tag team champions now when there's really no allure to them being champions? It's all in the chase. Giving these guys the titles outright and having Mustache Mountain chase, that's where the money is. When they have match number 2, it's going to be even better because what are they going to do now to keep those titles? Yeah, they won them in a fucking unbelievable match. It's going to be even harder to outdo themselves to keep it against another team like those guys who are going to be even more hungrier, trying to find what they did wrong and correct what they did wrong to go against these guys again and hopeful to win the titles. I thought this was a perfect outcome looking back on everything, and this match was fucking fantastic. After the match, they both celebrated. They were both elated, and Johnny Saint was on the stage waiting for them to congratulate them that they are the first ever UK Tag Team Champions. Man, great fucking shit here to open the show. Now, we went from that, and we went to Travis Banks and Jordan Devlin. I'm a big fan of Jordan Devlin. I wasn't at first, because I thought he was a Finn Balor clone. I mean, if you put them side by side, you can tell like he's got very, very similar look to Finn Balor. And then it came out that we learned that Finn Balor trained Jordan Devlin. Devlin's a little bit bigger, he's a little bit thicker, a little bit more muscular. Finn Balor's a little bit more leaner. So Jordan Devlin was shown attacking Travis Banks on the outside during the pre-show. He was walking into the building, walking into the Empress Ballroom, and Jordan Devlin just out of nowhere attacks, got referees and officials breaking it up. They made mention that Travis Banks was cleared by management to continue to fight tonight in the match against Jordan Devlin. So they make the introductions. You got Devlin in the ring, you got Travis Banks in the ring, and Banks had a knee injury already, right? I guess because of the attack by Jordan Devlin on the outside before the event actually started. And he was stomping on his knee, was Devlin, on the steel steps. So they helped Travis Banks to the back, and he was taken off the show, which kind of sucks. You know, I feel bad for a guy like Travis Banks. You know, he's in the UK. This is Takeover. Big fucking exposure, right, for the NXT UK brand being on Takeover. It's got to be a little shitty. He's got to feel kind of defeated being on Takeover and then being replaced by, you know, someone who is much, much more well-known than he is to take his spot. So Johnny Saint and Sid Scala came out and announced an immediate replacement for Travis Banks. And they knew that Devlin was going to do this, they said. We had a plan B. We had a backup plan just in case you tried to do this, which we knew you would. So the lights go out. Crowd's going crazy already. Who could it be? Right? And then all of a sudden you see the white smoke coming up from the stage. And then the lights come on, and then you see Finn Balor's name on the fucking Titantron, or a little stage area there on the LED screens. People are going crazy. Finn Balor looked so fucking happy to be there. He really looked happy to be there, man. He did his usual stick. Everybody was throwing their hands in the air. He looked genuinely happy to be back in NXT. He's smiling all over the place. This was a genuine smile, not this fake fucking shit that you see on Monday Night Raw. The one thing I would love to know is how his heart felt, man. You know for a fact that him being in NXT, this time in the UK, his heart had to be fucking 100% smiles. Finn Balor looked great during this show. Much more than I've ever seen him on Monday Night Raw. Like Balor, this was a Balor that we need, or we seen in NXT, and we need on Monday Night Raw, man. He looked fucking great tonight. Jordan Devlin's going crazy. They had the teacher versus student dynamic here. Really, really good shit. You know, bringing in Balor for this was an excellent move by WWE because it's going to get social media reaction. And that's exactly why they did it, and I don't blame them for doing that. Travis Banks is going to live to see another day. He's going to be on Takeover. He's going to be on another UK special. He's not going anywhere. But to get this show with the proper traction after such a hot match, this was fun. This was a great move. Great tag team title match. Everybody's still talking about. You got Finn Balor coming out in the next match, and he's repping the NXT UK brand. He's back on NXT. He's at the Empress Ballroom. Social media going crazy over Finn Balor. He delivers a great match against his student. It's just a win-win situation for everybody. It's going to gain traction, and it's going to get the brand more exposure, and that's exactly why they did it. It was a good business move to bring in Finn Balor to spice up the first ever UK Takeover Blackpool event. This was a really good match, man. This was a really good match. The teacher versus student dynamic. Both of them are just so similar in look and so similar in moveset. It was great to see. They know each other so well, obviously, because Finn Balor taught Jordan Devlin. But it was a match where Devlin tried to get the upper hand for most of the match, but Balor was always one step ahead of everything that Jordan Devlin did. There was a spot here where Devlin charged late in the match in the corner, but he gets hit with Balor's boots, both boots, in the corner, followed up by a clothesline and a double stomp on Devlin's chest. Balor broke out the 1916. I don't know when the last time we've seen the 1916. I think this was a reverse 1916, if I'm not mistaken. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Balor comes charging in from the corner, but Devlin counters with a back suplex and drops Balor on his head. Beautiful move. Devlin goes on the offensive here with some soccer-style punts to the abdomen area of Balor. Devlin walks around and he starts taunting and posing with Balor on the floor. Can't really do that. It's not really what Balor taught you to do, bro. So that's where you made your mistake. Goes for another punt kick. Balor catches his foot and drops him. Balor with some vicious kicks of his own on Devlin. Devlin tries to escape to the outside, but Balor goes to the apron and delivers his signature running kick to Devlin's face. Balor goes for the coup de grace again, but Devlin pulls him down and uses the ropes for leverage. He got his feet not on the second rope, but on the top rope. Referee didn't see it, and Balor barely managed to kick out at 2. He tried to go for a dirty pin. Devlin then performs a moonsault off the top rope, but Balor just in time got the knees up, and that was pretty much the beginning of the end. Balor with a brainbuster DDT, running dropkick in the corner, signature Balor move. Devlin bounces off the turnbuckles. He's in the landing zone. Balor goes up top. Coup de grace, probably the best coup de grace I've ever seen. He fucking nailed him directly. 1, 2, 3. Finn Balor wins. Great moment. And it was the right move to bring in Balor here to get traction for the show, man. Really, really good stuff here by WWE to bring in Balor against Devlin. He wins clean. 1, 2, 3 with the coup de grace over Jordan Devlin. Dave Mastiff and Eddie Dennis in a no DQ match. I'm a big fan of Dave Mastiff, man. I like his size. He came out repping the red and the black. He reminded me a little bit of Vader. Not gonna lie, with the getup that he wore to the ring, man. Mastiff is every bit of 300 fucking pounds, and the guy can fucking move. It's scary how well he can move, and it's scary. You know, the match was paced very well, I gotta admit. And it's scary how Mastiff moves, and he it looks like he's got good cardio. He wasn't really gassed at all from what I seen, and he lasted a pretty decent amount of time here with Eddie Dennis. Eddie Dennis really doesn't have anything as far as a look goes. He is very generic. I did not like his ring attire. He's tall, and he's weirdly strong. He don't look it, but, there were certain points in this match where he lifted Mastiff in a power slam, and he even got Mastiff in a razor's edge off the top rope and held him up in a razor's edge and slammed him down. So by looking at him, he's not strong, but he'll surprise you. That's all I'm going to say. He doesn't look that intimidating is what I'm trying to say. You know, he needs to change up something about him. There's just something off. I don't look at Eddie Dennis and I take him to be a serious threat. So he looks very generic and very plain in appearance here. But this was a pretty good match. This was definitely a come-down match from what we've seen so far in the first two matches. Hardcore, it was, at certain points. Eddie Dennis climbed back to the outside. Fast forwarding here. Pulls out a table. There was a couple of kendo stick shots. There were steel steps that were brought into the ring. When the table got introduced, that's when things really started to break down. He pulls out a table from underneath the ring. Dennis stomps away at Mastiff, sets the table up in the corner of the ring. Mastiff with a big back body drop on Dennis, and then he sits on him. And I do not want to ever be on the receiving end of anything like that from a man that size. I'm just telling you right now. So both end up on the apron, and Mastiff tries German suplexing Dennis from the apron to the hardwood floor. Now, the mat earlier in the match was lifted up, and underneath was the ballroom floor, which looked very intimidating. I would not want to be slammed on that at all. It looked like it would hurt very badly. So they end up on the floor. German suplex failed. Dennis avoids the German suplex, but he still gets caught in a rolling senton on the wood. On the wood? Yeah, now Kevin Dunn has nothing to do with this here. I'm sorry. Go away, Dunn. Mastiff tosses Dennis back inside the ring and hits a springboard moonsault. Yes, let me repeat that again. It's in my notes. Mastiff tosses Dennis back inside and hits a springboard moonsault. He missed, but to see a man that size do a springboard moonsault is all you need to know. So Dennis hits an inverted elevated DDT, like Balor's 1916, for anybody wondering, for a 2 count. Dennis then grabs a chair and starts nailing the back of Dave Mastiff. Now, this guy's got a lot of meat on him. So I'm sure those chair shots were being absorbed by the large amount of flesh that covers Mr. Dave Mastiff. Dennis then has Mastiff on the top rope, and he's going for another razor's edge. Now, he hit one earlier in the match, like I said, but he tried to razor's edge him this time into the table. Mastiff wiggled free. He forearmed Dennis a few times, then hits a release German suplex. Mastiff comes off the ropes with a running cannonball that sent Eddie Dennis through the table that was perched up horizontally in the corner for the 1, 2, 3. And having Dave Mastiff run at you doing a rolling cannonball, man, again, I do not want to be on the receiving end of that from a man that size. Dave Mastiff wins. I really like Dave Mastiff, man. I think he's got a nice ring presence. He's got a great look to him. And the guy is just freaky for the size that he is. I enjoyed this. It was really good. Come-down match of sorts. Crowd enjoyed it. Crowd was hot all night, but this was definitely a come-down match compared to everything else that we've seen up until this point. Dave Mastiff wins, and he defeats Eddie Dennis in a no DQ match. The one match I was looking forward to all night, Raya Ripley versus Toni Storm for the Women's Championship here in the United Kingdom, the NXT UK Women's Championship. Now, Triple H actually went on record to mention Toni Storm in the post-show interview on Facebook, and I want to go over what he said here about Toni Storm. Toni Storm walked out of this match. She is the new UK Women's Champion, and you can tell, like I mentioned already, how emotional she was during the entire show. Like, it looked like she was physically blown away by the reaction and the support that she's gotten. Like, she may have been away from social media, but you know for a fact that people were telling her about the overwhelming support and the hashtag, we stand with Toni, or we support Toni, whatever it was, due to her personal situation that happened. She was hacked. She was a victim of a personal hack. Photos were leaked, nudes were leaked, videos were leaked. So during the NXT Takeover Blackpool post-show interview on Facebook, Triple H did more than dodge a question about Vince McMahon. They asked him about the crowd chant. But he also had some high praise for Toni Storm. Toni, he said, is fighting through an injury, coming back at the Mae Young Classic, just having an incredible year, and then meeting with a lot of unfortunate circumstances. Not just an injury, but personal. You know that's a sign of strength in someone. It's hard. It's not how hard you get knocked down. It's not what gets you down in life. It's the ability to get up and just keep going. Obviously, Triple H has a ton of respect for Toni Storm. You kind of seen how proud he is of her when she won the Mae Young Classic, how proud he was, presenting her with the trophy, and just how he overall praises Toni Storm. Everybody loves Toni Storm. Now, Toni Storm is a rarity in professional wrestling, man. She really is. She's got everything going for her. She does a lot of things right, and a lot of things that really make you respect at someone that age, what she could physically do at 22, 23 years old, man. She's just great at what she does. Raya Ripley, I don't want to take away anything from Raya Ripley, man. She has had an unbelievable transformation. She is definitely one of my favorites From when we seen her in the first Mae Young Classic to what we see now and how she transformed herself, man, is a complete 180. Completely different person, and for the better. Her physicality is there. Her look is there. Her attitude is there. She lives the gimmick. You know, she plays a bitch on TV. She plays a bitch on social media, every bit of it, and she's always in character. She respects the business enough to always be in character, and I'm loving everything that she's doing. Now, Rhea Ripley did become the first ever UK Women's Champion, and I was surprised at that. I really was. I thought automatically they were going to give it to Toni Storm, but again, in the situation that I talked about with Mustache Mountain and Gibson and Drake, they gave it to the heel because the money is in the babyface chasing. Toni Storm ended up winning this match with Storm Zero, and it was a great moment. I kind of figured going into this match that they were going to make Toni Storm walk out the champion, not because of what she was going through with the personal issues, because they felt bad for her, but you just kind of seen the writing on the wall, honestly. You know, Toni is the perfect ambassador for a women's division. She really is. I mean, you could take her out of the UK division, put her on Monday Night Raw, and she would be the star of that division on Raw or SmackDown. That's how good she is. She is the perfect ambassador to build around for the women's division. I'm not saying that Rhea Ripley is not, and this is not Rhea Ripley's first and only dance with the championship. But if you're going to compare the two, Toni Storm is the one that you're going to go with, really. Now, the one thing I did not like about this match, and this was very prominent in not only this match, but it was prominent in the main event as well. What is with so many finishers being hit? So many finishers being hit and not finishing off your opponent. There was multiple attempts by Toni Storm. She eventually won with the Storm Zero, but if you're going to do Storm Zero, that should be it. It's called a finishing move. And I don't like the situation where it's got to be done once, it's got to be done twice, and then on the third time it gets it done. Why do you have to break out 3 finishing moves for it to be effective on your opponent and then win the match? It should be one and done. Wrestlers rely too much on their finishing move A, and when a match is produced, I feel like this is a problem in wrestling in general. I feel like when a match is produced, oh, let's do the finishers multiple times and kick out. It'll create a more dramatic effect. I don't think so at all. That's on the wrestler to have other moves in your repertoire that could be on the same level, or if not, just slightly below your finishing move. You should always have a backup move or two where you could call upon, damn. For example, Sami Zayn's got the Blue Thunder Bomb. It's one of the prettiest moves in all wrestling. Every time he hits it, it's like, holy shit, he's going to win with it. And he doesn't win with it. Then he's got the Haluva kick. And that's his finishing move. You got to have a good setup move or two to create that dramatic effect. You can't go to the finishing move all the time and use that once, kick out, twice, kick out. Yeah, but on the third time, she got it. I don't like that. And that goes for everybody. I don't want to see 3 Haluva kicks or 3 pop-up power bombs or 3 AAs or 3 RKOs. Finishing moves need to be treated with some sort of respect. There's no respect for the finishing move anymore, man. I don't want to rant on it. It's just it was very prominent, not only in this match, but in the main event as well. I don't understand the logic behind that whatsoever, man. I really don't. Like I mentioned, Storm looked very emotional at the beginning and especially at the end when she won the title from Rhea Ripley. She received a lot of support from everybody on social media, from everybody being there. Definitely has something to do with the entire community just backing her after she was a victim of a hack that revealed some nude photos. She looked great. I do have to mention, Toni Storm is bae. I love Toni Storm, but the haircut's got to go. I miss her old haircut, man. I love first of all, I love the curly hair. I love curly hair on anybody, but the haircut she's got, I don't know what it is, man. She looks great. Don't get me wrong, but I prefer the old look. I prefer the old hairstyle. She changed her hairstyle. I don't like it. She has a great German suplex. I have to make mention of that. She did the German suplex twice in this match. First rolling, and then she did it again towards the end of the match. So Brock Lesnar would be incredibly proud of Toni Storm, man. That snap German is fucking a thing of beauty, man. So you got to give props to Toni Storm on that. As far as the match goes, it was a good match. I expected it to be a little bit better, but, it was good for what it was. And Rhea Ripley's a beast. Toni Storm's a great seller. She does everything just so great. She's a great seller. You could really become physically invested in her match. She plays the babyface role and the babyface beat down well. She reminds me of a female Bret Hart. Bret Hart always used to take a fucking beating in the mouth and come back in the end of the match. And, it's just very Bret Hart-esque in Toni Storm's delivery. So, fast forward to this thing. Rhea Ripley locks in the reverse cloverleaf. And Storm is holding on. She's about to tap out. Storm rolls through and turns it into an ankle lock of her own. So Ripley is caught in the center of the ring with this ankle lock. She scurries over to the ropes. Storm hits a hip attack on Rhea Ripley. And Storm then with a snap German suplex and a bridge pin for another 2 count. Storm continues to just attack Rhea Ripley. She hits headbutts and some forearms. Rhea Ripley grabs Toni Storm's hair, pulls her down. Ripley connects with a riptide. There you go again. She hits her finishing move and Storm kicks out at 2. It was pretty much a 3. It was like 2 3/4. Toni Storm kicks out. Ripley sitting there in shock that Toni Storm kicked out of a finishing move. And she goes for some short arm clotheslines. And she nails about 3 short arm clotheslines. This is Rhea Ripley on Toni Storm. Ripley goes for 3rd clothesline. Storm headbutts Ripley, connects with Storm Zero, and a kick out. So we had Rhea Ripley with the riptide, kick out. Toni Storm with a Storm Zero, kick out. It doesn't create a dramatic effect. If it happens more and more and more, it's not going to create a dramatic effect. And by the end of this thing, it was so anticlimactic, I'm like, that's it? That was it? So both women now get up to their feet. Storm hits some forearms on Ripley's face, but Ripley gets a hard right hand. Ripley tries for another riptide, but Storm reverses it, falls back, lands on her feet, and pulls Rhea Ripley's hair. She pulls Rhea Ripley's hair and connects with Storm Zero for the win. So Rhea Ripley tried for riptide again. All Toni Storm did was pull her hair, pull her into a Storm Zero, and that was it. I sat there and I'm thinking to myself, is that the way the match ended? I didn't like that ending at all. The match was fine. The match was fine. Not Toni Storm's best, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was a bad match. But the ending was very anticlimactic. I expected something a little bit more, especially for a Toni Storm title win and becoming the face of the women's division in the UK. I expected something a little bit more, monumental. It was it. Hair pull, Storm Zero, 1, 2, 3. It's all over. Rhea Ripley's on the stage crying. It's not going to be your last title run. It's just Toni Storm's, I've always said it. I'm going to go back to saying it. If you are the best at what you do, you need to be the head of your class or head of your division. Toni Storm is the best that they got. Not taking anything away from Rhea Ripley, but Toni Storm is the best that they have representing that brand, and she should be the champion. Pete Dunne is the best at what he is, at what he's doing right now. He's the champion. Zach Gibson and James Drake are the best at what they did tonight. They're the champions. So, if you're a champion, you need to be the very best in what you are doing. And Toni Storm is that for the women's division. New champion. She celebrated with the crowd. Everybody loved it. And I'm proud of Toni. Very, very good stuff here from both women. And Toni Storm is your new UK women's champion. We are the main event. Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey for the NXT UK Championship. This was every bit of 30 minutes plus. I didn't expect it to go that long. But Pete Dunne is the UK champion for over 600 days. Now, they did mention that, and they made a running consistent theme on commentary to let you know. They even had a video package counting down all the days, and I think Nigel McGuinness even went through literally everybody that he defended the title against on commentary. Yeah, 600 days is great as UK champion. But I'm going to sit here and ask you, how many people legitimately are watching the UK brand? 600 days is a long fucking time. Especially in modern day pro wrestling. 600 days is a long fucking time. Now, I don't understand why, A, Pete Dunne wasn't on NXT this week to promote the show, or SmackDown Live, or better yet, Monday Night Raw? Why wasn't Pete Dunne on Monday Night Raw to hype this show as the UK champion with this monumental run that he's on for over 600 days? And by the time we get another takeover event for the UK, it's going to be 700 days. Why isn't he all over the place on WWE social media, Monday Night Raw, hyping this show? I'm 600 days champion. Longer than anyone in modern day WWE. It's no joke. Why aren't they doing more to promote that? So that's strike one. Yeah, you can make mention of it in a highlight package on the fucking program, but realistically, how many people are watching the UK program? You got to get it out there on your main shows. Brag about it. Hype them up. Maybe people will come over and say, what the fuck's this guy all about? I don't know why more is not being done as far as their champions go. You're going to make your champions stand out amongst everybody else. They're representing your fucking company. That's strike one. Now, the match itself was fine. I love the story that they were trying to tell. The pace of the match was, in the beginning, very good. Started off slow, both men feeling each other out. Joe Coffey's the larger of the two guys, very intimidating. Pete Dunne tried to find an opening and take Coffey down, tried to go for his usual breaking of the fingers and joint manipulation. Coffey wasn't having it early on. And then all of a sudden, things really started to pick up here. Everything started to pick up, and you slowly started to see the fatigue on these guys just build and build and build and build. And then it got really scary towards the last 10 minutes. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So, at the end of this thing, let's try and recap what the hell happened here. Slow to start. You know, they're building up through the match. They're telling their story. And we get to a point in the match where Coffey tosses Dunn off the top rope in a top rope powerbomb. Now, that in itself looked fucking crazy. I don't know what the fuck he was trying to do, but the way Joe Coffey landed, it looked absolutely ridiculous. Like, I didn't know what they were doing, and then all of a sudden he fell sideways, and Pete Dunne landed on his back. Both men landed on their back. So both Dunn and Coffey barely get to their feet, and they're in each corner. You got Dunn in his corner, you got Coffey in the other. Crowd's going crazy, everybody's on their feet. They meet in the center of the ring. They start battling it out like two fucking bulls, throwing blow for blow. Dunn with some hard strikes. Coffey rocked right back to the ropes. Dunn can barely stand up, and Coffey uses an eye rake to gain control. Good old school move. Coffey puts Dunn in an electric chair position and slides him into a German suplex for a 2 count. Coffey stomps in the back of Dunn's head, as right now he is just completely out of it in the center of the ring. Coffey picks him up and goes for the bitter end. He goes for Pete Dunne's own finishing move on him. And Dunn reverses that into a DDT, planted Joe Coffey right on his head, and connects with his second bitter end. So at this point, remember what I talked about Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm? At this point, Dunn had already hit 2 bitter ends. You don't need to hit 2 bitter ends to end somebody. It should be bitter end, and that's it. It's over. Now, he hit 2 bitter ends. Joe Coffey's laying on his back, and Pete Dunne's lying on his back after the bitter end. He can't make the pin. He's too tired to make the cover on Joe Coffey. When Pete Dunne moves and finally goes to cover Joe Coffey's already rolling out of the ring. So 2 bitter ends, and a pin attempt is thwarted. Pete Dunne grabs Coffey on the apron, but Coffey pushes him away and hits his discus lariat. Coffey then picks up Dunne and bounces his face off the top turnbuckle. Coffey drags Dunne to the top rope, and they both tumble to the outside. Now Coffey hits another discus lariat on Dunne on the outside and drags him back into the ring. Hits a unique slam for another 2 count, and Coffey once again climbed the top rope. Now, the first time they went up there, I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do. I don't even want to know what they were trying to do. The first time, Dunne was on the inside of the ring, And Joe Coffey, I'm looking at the still picture on WWE's Twitter right now. Joe Coffey is on the outside of the ring, standing on the second turnbuckle. Pete Dunne's on the top rope on the inside of the ring. Joe Coffey was bent backwards so far that there's absolutely no way he was able to maintain balance on that second turnbuckle. The guy fell perilously down to the mat. I thought the guy was fucking dead. Now, I don't know what they were trying to do. I really don't. And Joe Coffey paid for it. So then they tried again. I don't know if this was supposed to factor into the ending of the match or not, but he tried it again. So they tried again. They go up there again. Dunn tries for a big move, and they both fall off the top rope. And Joe Coffey fell the same exact way he did the first time. Now, at this point, I'm confused. And I honestly believe, from what I watched, I don't know if this factored into the ending or was supposed to factor into the end of the match, but there was an audible call, no question, right after. I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do. I don't even think they knew what they wanted to do. Whatever was produced here was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Because what they did already, you're going to get to this point and try something like this with a guy the size of fucking Joe Coffey. At this point, they were absolutely on zero. They had no energy to expend whatsoever. So they try for a big move on the top rope. They both fall. The same way that Joe Coffey fell the first time, they both fell to the outside. So they're on the outside now. They get up. Dunn is hit with a running, spinning forearm, and Dunn and Coffey meet on the outside. They're on the outside. They're going back and forth. They meet on the inside of the ring with Dunn hitting a spinning forearm and his third bitter end. So it's a third bitter end, and at this point, I'm like, why isn't that the end of the match? Was there a botch? Was there a botch? Now, I don't know why the bitter end, when they got back in the ring after that perilous fall, a second botch, why the third bitter end didn't end them. Why did Joe Coffey kick out of a third bitter end there? Why did Pete Dunne, and people were fucking complaining to me on Twitter, oh, it's a different ending. Why are you going to have Pete Dunne submit a guy like Joe Coffey with bending his fingers back? People are telling me it's a good alternative to end the match. Yeah, but he was bending his fingers earlier in the match, and it did nothing to Joe Coffey. Now all of a sudden you're going to tell me something that didn't work on the guy earlier in the match is going to work now? No matter how fatigued he is. Pete Dunne hit 3 finishing moves on him. Didn't like that at all, man. That was terrible. It didn't ruin the match, but it minused some points from the overall match. 3 bitter ends and nothing. And the bitter end is one of my favorite moves in all of WWE, one of my favorite finishers in all of WWE. He hit 3 on Joe Coffey perfectly, and he kicks out of every fucking one of them. 2 count. Dunn had enough. He gets on Coffey with a triangle choke, and then bends his fingers back, and Coffey tapped out. I really didn't understand the ending of the match. I really didn't. Those spots, whatever they did, I don't know who threw those things in there and what they were trying to do, but that was not needed in the match. The match, the story that they told was great. It really was. Joe Coffey bringing Pete Dunne to the biggest battle that he's ever had so far. Put Pete Dunne on the brink of losing the championship. But with 3 bitter ends being hit, it's like, Jesus Christ, when the fuck is this match going to be over? The match seemed like it dragged on and dragged on and dragged on. It's like it could have ended 4 different fucking times already. So Pete Dunne wins. Still UK champion. So Pete Dunne's holding the title in his mouth. He's doing his little pose in the ring. And all of a sudden, the end credits come on. Right? And then he wants to pull a fucking Tommaso Ciampa. They go away, and then all of a sudden, this beautiful symphonic music plays. And Walter comes out. And Walter looked fucking fantastic. The crowd knew who he was. They were singing along to his theme music. They were going crazy over who he was. I know, to the casual United States fan, who the fuck is Walter? Whatever. He's big in the UK, that's all you need to know. Comes out wearing a big black trench coat. Holds his hands behind his back. He's looking at Pete Dunne. They're posing at one another. Standing, towering over Pete Dunne. Joe Coffey is still by ringside. He gets on the apron. Walter big boots him into a fucking oblivion. And then he stares at Pete Dunne some more. And you're looking at probably what is the next UK championship match at the next Takeover, whenever that may be. Maybe WrestleMania weekend. I don't know. Or that week, the week before WrestleMania. I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. But this was an overall show. Some really, really bizarre endings. Like the Toni Storm match ended very anticlimactic. This match, I don't know what the fuck these two tried to do at the end of that thing. But the tag team title match, man, stood out. #1 match of the night. Unbelievable stuff. Overall, just a great show. Great excitement. Great atmosphere. Great crowd. Commentary was on it. Just an overall great show, man. And then we got the debut of Walter standing over Pete Dunne, eyeing the United Kingdom Championship. Pete Dunne is still your UK champion, and he will remain champion for over 700 days in WWE, man. So thank you guys so much for everything. Great show tonight. Loved it. A few hiccups here and there, but it was another home run for the NXT brand. Please hit that thumbs up, man. Hit that thumbs up. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Please support Harry's, harrys.com/script. Do a free trial. And get your t-shirts, man, at barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. I'm getting out of here, guys. UK Takeover Blackpool in the books. I will see you all right back here on Sunday afternoon, later today, 5 p.m., normal time. We got a lot of news to go over on the Part 3, Episode 256, to round out the weekend of Off the Script. Hit that thumbs up, guys, and I'll see you guys later today for Off the Script.